guess I just get back to work here. Alright. Duplicate this and hide this one. And this is going to be, before we do that, let's delete that layer, get this layer back visible, and do what we're supposed to do with this layer now. If I were to move this layer over here, I'm going to see this color. What I want to see is magic button, do your thing, this color. Now, I don't know if that's right, but I can't help but think that I don't see cyan in older comics. Maybe I just don't see it. I see blue. Okay, so that's what I do with this. So I'm gonna Control Z this. Am I gonna Control Z this? Yes. There are more steps. That was an auto action. Okay. So I'm gonna do that auto action. And now it's even blacker. But now that that's done, I can go duplicate it, hide the layer below because that's the duplicated layer. This is duplicated because I'm going to experiment. I'm going to experiment with the hue. And I am going to leave some blue in here, which means I'm going to increase the value. No, I'm going to increase the luminosity, which would decrease the value. Right. It's backwards and opposite. So I'm going to decrease the value by 40. So that's 40. I gotta remember that. Oh, I see. I gotta look at something here. Hold on. That. Alright. Now I'm going to go back into my program. That being Clip Studio Paint. Okay, 40. Why don't I be smart and go 40? Alright, now I go to magenta. Now magenta's gotta be brought out of the picture. So the luminosity is going to increase by 70%. There we go. Now we're talking about green, right? The red is helping make this particular green, but it is in a small amount. Alright. This would all be replicated by the dots that you would see in an old school comic. And traditional printing is no different. The unfortunate reality is that if I wanted these exact same colors printed, they would be a dot matrix, because you're not going to make this kind of color on a 4-color process, on a printing I'm going on and on. I did a whole thing about this. I'm trying to explain. What I'm doing isn't right. What I'm doing is a thing that involves processes that exist in the printing world. But I'm not doing it right because I'm just doing it digitally. So I'm just coming up with these ways of manipulating color that make me feel like I'm doing it in an old school way. Alright, so we've got our green. Now the problem here is that our yellow, that magenta move, see now I'm going to have to go back to change layer name, which is the last thing I did, and this magenta has to get duplicated, and the saved copy gets hidden, and now I can make my experiment, which was, I believe, I increased this by 60%. I believe it was 60%. I'm going to write 60%. Alright, now the yellow, this is where the green is really going to pop, because the yellow needs to be increased in its luminosity, decreased in its value. I believe decrease value is the proper term, because we want more substrate. Luminosity is a digital term. Luminosity is a digital term, and if I increase the luminosity, it creates more white, let's say. Let's just call it white. All right, or light. Light is the word. All right. In the printing world, we use the paper to mimic the concept that there's any light at all, and we if we increase the value, we would actually make it darker. But because this is luminosity, we're going to increase. And the reason I'm explaining that is because I'm just explaining to myself and saying, oh, you know all this stuff. That's why you're doing it this way. And, because somebody once asked me, why don't I just use the color picker instead of trying to match these colors like this, the way I'm doing it. And it's like, because this is the process I'm using to arrive at colors. And so I don't want to color pick and then use that color. I want to lay down 4-color process and use that process to arrive at the color. Isn't that all of that really nifty? When I take the yellow out of this, i.e. increase its luminosity by 40%, we're going to see the blues come through more. So we don't want to see that. So we definitely want to stay down around 20%. All right? And then we're going to go back to the blue, and we're going to get that blue out of there. And we're going to go another 20%. Oh, now the red's coming through too much, so let's go down 10%. All right, I'm going to keep it at 0 and cancel that and go to the red and get that out of there, because apparently that's the problem. All right, so let's increase that by 20. How about what happens at 30? Okay, it's a little bright. It doesn't have to match that swatch perfectly. Those who don't understand what's going on here, this is, what's that? Oh, let me cancel that. Where are we here? Oh my goodness. Do I want the red? Yeah, the red is the problem. I'm gonna zoom in here. That's what I can't zoom. Oh, look what I painted. I used a different. That's okay. We're gonna stick with that. I used something different here by mistake, but I think that's good. All right. What am I trying to do? Yeah, take the red out. I want to try to arrive at something close to this. The red is causing huge problems, giving it almost a bluish, it's creating a gray, really, right? Well, I actually like the way that looks, huh? But, alright, we're gonna remove some red here. Okay, so now I'm really happy because I do like the way the palette looks. I don't have to match this. I'm just going to play with the idea of trying to. And that's pretty good. How about 30%? Now that's green. So how about 25%? We'll compromise. Go 25%. Did we make changes to the blue? Yes, we did not make changes to the blue, but we want to go about 10%. There. Okay. There I have matched it pretty close. It's a little more, let's see, we will definitely desaturate this yellow. So there's the yellow. We'll go here. We could try luminosity. Yeah, see, you can see as I get to about 30%, it's almost a perfect match with that. Anyway, now, and the fact that I used this yellow pattern by mistake actually helps breathe the blue into it and gives it a different, something I didn't expect. So I'm fine. Because I see yellow right here. I don't think anybody else is going to see anything. They're just going to see, oh, that looks cool. That's my theory. Let me see. Yeah, it's just got a texture to it now. That's fine. I mean, that's the whole thing. All right. Yeah. Thank you for enduring all of that. Now, there are no... So, we have to continue our plant world here. So, in this plant world, I'm going to do a little trick here. Take this swatch. I'm going to close up my craft tool layer. No, I can't do that. I have to close up. Oh yeah. All right, I'm gonna go for it. I can't handle it. I feel like it's distracting. So what's gonna happen is S, yellow, I'm gonna use the correct brush. Alright, there's the yellow. Goodbye. Alright, watch this. %, 60%, 40%, okay, 50, there you go, I want 55, alright, there. Now, I'm going to do this little trick. Oh yeah, so now what we have to do is delete this, and this. Goodbye. Oh, I think I deleted the wrong one. Yes, I did. This. No. Oh, I never did this properly. Okay, so we're going to do this and this. Delete those. And now we're going to just commit. We got to do a lot of committing around here. Alright. Now it's time to do the secondary green. And I really made a big mistake not using this for the secondary green. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this swatch for the secondary green. So I'm going to close all my folders, and I'm going to get this swatch under the ink layer. No, it doesn't have to be under the ink layer. It can be all the way here at the top, and we just set it to multiply. And I believe that I can put it here, and it'll be great there. And then I duplicate it, and I can put it here, and I can even do the old cheat, which is select it and open it up, because this cheat has to happen. Alright, yes. So now we're going to use the eraser. Wait a minute, what's happening here? Oh yeah, the size. Just get that down. That's uncomfortable. So this is the big one here, and so we're going to get rid of this. Right. Oops. Let's not do that. Oh, shoot. I'm cheating too soon. Cheating too soon. Yeah, I'm cheating too soon. That's the trick. There are cheats that need to be done. It's not going to be perfect every time. Alright, let's go to this layer. That's not my eraser. My eraser is here. Okay, whatever. So this is a cheat here. Boing. This is a cheat. We're going to put that under. Put it right there because it's set to multiply. That's fine. We're going to call this cheat. And I like to use capitals, so that's what I'll do. This is called cheat. Alright. Now we have a cheat. We're going to highlight that red just in case we forget what's going on. Rendered probably shouldn't be highlighted green because it's just distracting. Or maybe it's not, I don't know. Let's see, I'm kind of losing my grip here. Let's see. Okay, we gotta do, yeah, we did the cheat, so now it's time to do the secondary green. So we do the same things. We go to cyan. And we make sure we have cyan selected. And we get in here. Now there's no... We know what we know. I know where my secondary greens go. So let's make up some green. Green, green, green. But first it's blue. Oh, what am I doing? You color like this. You color everything. one thing's for sure. This can be a very relaxing exercise, and I suggest you try it. Oops, I'm forgetting what's going on here. I want it messy, but not that messy. I might also add, since this is apparently all about me right now, this page is excellent. This page, let's examine the pacing of this page. So she's going on and on, right? So this is like bad pacing, right? Because she's going on and on. Well, no, we just met her. I want to, in a comical way, be hammered. Like, I want you to realize she's miserable. Things didn't go her way on the front page. Now she's sick of it, right? So then something completely ridiculous happens. And then she comes up with this ridiculous idea. And then she just runs away. And you're like, what the fuck? Right? Because you understand that, like, she has to do chores, so she's miserable. And now so she could run away. We all know that story, right? So I just did it. On the next panel, she says, oh, I can't just leave my brother, which is great. Okay. Okay, good. She's not going to run away. She's come to her senses. My goodness, you had me going there for a minute. And then what happens? She goes home and tells her brother what's going on. So she's lost her marbles, basically, right? She's not giving up on this idea. She's going to bring Hansel in on it. Okay? And then Hansel's like, huh? And so what's going to happen on the next page? Well, hopefully, the way I've structured this makes you go, I gotta know what Hansel thinks of this. I certainly know what I think of it. I mean, I hope that's what's going on here, because that's what I think I wrote. All right, where are we here? Secondary green. Let the computer do its thing. Okay, secondary greens. Let's make this. Okay, that's a little much. We're not going to do that. Oops. Come on now. Go back in here, do this thing, and make this go away. Alright. A little nitpicky, but okay. Secondary greens, secondary greens, secondary greens. This is about it. This is the last one. Oh, we have a third green. The dishes need to be... The dishes are close to this olive. I'm gonna go for it. It's got to be done. These dishes are green, and so at some point we have to make decisions about this green. We'll have to take these dishes into account when we experiment with how we're gonna get to green. Because you don't use green in the CMY process, you arrive at it. Alright, now, I believe I've covered all the secondary green as far as cyan is concerned. So the next step is to go to the magenta. Magenta, which we will now do. Magenta. Use the magenta brush and get cracking. So we just basically do the same thing we just did. The problem is cyan has to be muted so that we can see what we're doing, because once I add the magenta, we'll get a very dark color. We're going to change that later, but right now, this is what happens. Oh, I'm going along the wrong lines. Oop. Press the right buttons now. Would you believe this is secondary green? Yes, it is. That is because if you want your greens to have that sort of warm tone, you need some magenta. I laugh when I said warm tone because I didn't used to think about color that way, right? And so now that I've been doing this, I think, well, what is magenta? It's fucking hot, to be honest with you, but see, that's why you don't use it in its raw form. Same with cyan. I'm definitely doing something wrong with the cyan, because one of the things I do with the cyan, I sure hope I did it, because I don't think I did. Oh, I didn't. I'm going to do it right now. 8. Okay, the cyan. Let's move the cyan so we can just double check it. Yeah, that's not cyan. This is my cyan. Z. Alright. Take this and hit the magic auto action. Alright. Now that's cyan. Now that's definitely why we have to reduce the opacity so we can see the red. Okay. And boy, it's such a shame. I really love the way the bushes look purplish like that. That's a good look. They'll probably look pretty good when I'm done with it. Anyway. Alright. There's that one. There's this one. is this one. We're almost done with this part. All right. I think we're done. We definitely don't. I'm like, I hate doing this. Go ahead, do it. Yeah, there. Now I didn't make myself hate doing it. I have a weird relationship with the balloons. I want this whole thing to look like it was done by hand, and then I want the balloons to look perfect. So what I did was I got the red out of it, but let the blue bleed away. Anyway, oops. I'm gonna leave those because, let's see, we got one here and one there. So let's get rid of this one, just so it doesn't look uniform. Alright, now, see, I'm leaving little things like that because that makes me think of actual physical anomalies. Alright, so we have to add the yellow now. We don't have a choice. Yellow must be added. So, this says 60, that's not a truth. Why is that? Alright. And this one says 40, and that's not true. Alright, so yellow doesn't say anything, and it has to get applied. So let's use yellow. Now, the same thing. I have to make this. I usually, you should start with yellow because then you can put, it doesn't matter. You always have to, what I need to do is that. Now I can see the yellow because we are muddying up our canvas here, because that's what you do in this process. And you can see how this color is fairly similar to the brown, not on purpose, but just reducing the opacity changes the way these colors interact with each other because of multiply. It's because of multiply, the magic of multiply. Alright, now we're ready to, oh no we're not. Almost ready, here we go, we're getting there. It's the big moment. Alright, The big moment is upon us. I believe we've covered all the secondary vegetation. And now it is time to set this to 100 and set this one to 100. And now it is time to go for a green, which means reducing the magenta quite significantly. So we're going to increase the luminosity. In order to reduce the amount of magenta, we're going to increase the luminosity. The reason I'm saying that like that is because I went over this before. This is all a learning experience, and any questions about using Clip Studio Paint and digital illustration that I can handle, I will answer. Oh no, look what's happened here. How can we have this? This is a huge no-no. I see a giant tangent. There's only one way to handle this. Go into the red layer. Choose any tool and make sure it's set for invisible pixels, and then get rid of this tangent. Oops. Okay, it's going to be a little more complicated than I thought. We'll use the lasso tool. So I've deleted the magenta. Now I'm going to go to the cyan and delete that. And then I'm going to go to the yellow, and I'm going to move it up. Oh, can I do that? Come on, yellow. Right, I gotta go to the right yellow layer. There. I can live with that. Now I've gotten rid of that tangent. No. Oh, yeah, there's no reason for that yellow. Goodbye. Okay, let's do it. Whoops. Delete it. Right. I'll go to blue. Delete that. Alright, there. Now we've gotten rid of something terrible. Did you see that? Did everybody see what I just did? Hey everybody, I'm the big teacher. Did you see how I taught you an art lesson? Don't do that. Don't have the bird's beak meeting right there with the... It creates an uncomfortable feeling, and it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. And it doesn't look right. Alright. That's called a tangent. Alright. So, we started our... forgot to do the bowls. I gotta go back to the red. No, not the red, the yellow. Gotta go back to the yellow. I gotta do something tricky right here. There's another thing I gotta fix. Okay, the first thing I gotta do is go back to the red and put this red in. Right here. I forgot about this. didn't put the yellow in either. Apparently. I can't forget about this. Now go to the yellow. Get the yellow thing. There. Alright. Because we're not in Greenville yet. We've done something very not so hot here. I liked the color, but I forgot about this. This has to be fixed. We've got to take one of these. Oh, I know. The pressure tint. Alright, let's do pressure tint. Go into the yellow. Maybe not. Let's go into the red. Maybe not. Am I losing my mind? Alright, let's see. I'm trying to do something very important here. The magenta. If I were to use this brush, it's going to do that. If I use this pressure tint, okay, here we go. It's just very slow. This is happening. Well, there's very little red there to begin with, right? We're gonna have to go back here. Go back here. I mean, if I use this, I can see nope. Okay, back. Where are we here? Let's make sure we know what we're doing. Okay. The red's gotta get out of there. Okay. Okay. Oops. We don't want that. I suppose it could just be that simple, right? Just to draw attention to the bird. Just because. So, okay, the issue here is very simple. This is unavoidable. I mean, I gotta do something about this because my arty brain's telling me you cannot you're defeating the purpose. You're hiding the bird. Even though I guess it's perfectly visible, I gotta get this red out of here. But I don't want to get it out completely. I just want to change it, so I'm gonna cut it out. Now the problem is this. Cut, cut, cut. Oh no. No, 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 no. Don't be crazy. Let's see. We want add. Yeah, this is just the red I'm doing. Okay. Don't get carried away. You know what you're doing. I'm gonna use this function. Copy, paste. No, not copy, paste, you ding dong. Let's see. Cut and paste. I'm gonna cut and paste this, and then I'm gonna go into my hue, which is not what I actually use. I'm gonna increase the luminosity about 25%. I think that's all I wanted to do. I guess. I don't know. Maybe I want it more. I do have a plan for this. Let's see. Oh, I have to go back. Okay, so I got my selection. Oops, we don't need that. We need this, and we need this. Oh, yeah, it is wrecking the whole thing. Well, what's going on? I think we're adjusting the wrong layer. Oh, yes, okay. We're making big mistakes. Let's deselect. Where are we here? I think we're just gonna have to deal with the fact that I didn't think that panel. I never liked this anyway. Let's just move on. There's the bird. The bird's there. Alright, where are we here? Oh yeah, we're trying to figure out how to, now somehow our yellow got... Did we lose our red and our yellow? What's going on now? Oh. Red. There's no red in this. Let's put the red in. We already went through this. I must have... This is what happens when you experiment. Alright, there. Now, we also need yellow. Yellow's not in here. Whoops. Now we have our yellow. And now we have our secondary greens. So watch this. Here's where it's gonna get fun. Says he, says the man who draws. Still a lot of things that have to come together here, but right now what we're gonna have fun with is what I'm right now calling the secondary greens. So where are our secondary greens? Well, let's take a look. Red we definitely want very little of, which means we're going to increase the luminosity, decrease the value. And so let's do that. So we definitely want to go at least 75. Perhaps let's go as high as 80 already. Alright, now we've got a nice olive color. I really should have duplicated that and saved it, but anyway, we're going to move a lot of that yellow out of there, or at least, let's try 40%. Still got a lot of blue in there, so I can't make the decision. Try 70%. Definitely not. So probably want to keep a lot of yellow in there. I'll bring it out 30%, and that way we can go to the cyan. And let's see, this is one of the problems with the cyan. It's giving us a bad reading because it's not set for 100% opacity. So now we gotta pray that this is gonna be fine. We gotta get a lot of blue out of there, but not so much that it yeah, I want to see green. Well, let's go to the red, the magenta, and increase that 20%. Well, how about 30%? How about a whole lot? Now it's getting green. 75%. Okay. I think that if I take the yellow, I can't take, oh yes, increase the yellow some more. No, don't increase the yellow some more. Try increasing the cyan. By increasing, I mean make it lighter. And we still got this red causing an issue here. So I'm going to have to go to my history panel. Magenta, magenta, yellow. Okay, so right here. So let's see. This is one of the problems. I don't have this set properly, so I can't make accurate decisions. So we definitely want a lot of blue. But we never want 100% of this blue. So the first thing we have to do is start by saying 30% of it's gotta go. That's default. The magenta, a great deal of it has to go. Say 75%, as we said before. Now you can see some serious green. We're gonna go 80% because now we got green. Now all we have to do is get this yellow to not be so saturated, i.e. so much, the value so heavy. We're going to decrease the value by using RGB to increase the luminosity. That's what this setting does. So I would say by 40% minimum. Oh no, we got issues. 60%. Okay, so 30% maybe. But it's gotta be this red that's the problem, huh? Not red, but magenta. It's just too much of it. Alright, let's go 85. I got a feeling 85 is probably white. Yeah. Oh, well, check it out. Watch. That's the funny thing. You see? There is red in here. And it's very important that it's there, believe it or not. That's what's weird about this system. Alright. There's the yellow. I gotta say, it's gotta be the yellow that's just way too saturated. Now, saturation is not the right word. There's the blue. Yeah, we don't want to touch the yellow. We want plenty of yellow. Our cyan needs to brighten up. Like it could go way up. Let's go 45. Now, if I was to... doesn't make that much of a difference, does it? What do my bowls look like? That's fine if they're green. Who cares? I guess I had a brighter color in mind, but really I'm not going to get what I'm thinking of this way, and you're not supposed to. So I'm wondering... why I feel like the yellow is just too much. There we go. That's why, because it is too much. Alright, I went in the right direction. I'm calling it quits. Next, what do I gotta take a break again? Holy baloney. But, I don't know, hopefully, is anybody watching, maybe you agree with the color palette. You probably still don't see how this all comes together, even though it's fairly obvious, but what I've done so far is supposed to look extremely simple. And as you can see, it wasn't simple to arrive at. Like, I don't want you to be thinking about the trees. I just want you to feel like something's opening up in here. You know what I mean? Anyway, I don't know. I could go on and on about it. I gotta take a little break. I suppose I'll just stay online. I would love to finish this tonight, and I think I could, but this panel here is gonna be, it might be tricky. This panel here might be tricky. There are details in the other three panels. There's something that has to be done in every single panel. I don't know. finish it. Alright, I can't finish this page tonight, and it is getting... Can you hear me? It's getting there. So, that's another one of my surprise sign-offs. Thanks for hanging out if you're there, because I see that there might be somebody there, unless it's a computer. Alright, goodbye.